Oh God, I need you. Without you, life runs dry. I'm tired of shallow water. Pull me to the wild tide. Like David in the night hours, reaching for your name.
Is there any more questions or topics, Hermit?
Yeah.
I got one.
Go
Why don't we talk about classes that feel great versus classes that don't feel as great? In particular, I'm thinking about tanks on Destro side.
You think docs need to be buffed?
Well, docs, don't buff the docs because then we're gonna get a huge nerf, and I'm not gonna like that. So let's keep docs exactly how they are, except add a taunt. But I'm talking about like tanks
Okay.
on Destro
So-
side, specifically Blackguard.
I think Blackguard needs some help.
Yes.
And they don't need help when they have hate. When they have hate, there's nothing wrong with them. They're very, very good tanks. When they don't have hate, they're almost useless.
Yes, they're very
So-
hard, especially in PvE as well. It's very hard to tank a dungeon until you have that
This is a
hate
PvP
train
game,
runner.
sir.
I know, but it's very obvious in PvE.
So what's the is it Ironbreaker on the other side? They have the
Yes.
same problem. They have
Well,
they
maybe.
have,
I don't actually know.
Well, that's why
I
I'm
actually
asking.
have a 40 Ironbreaker as well, and it is them.
So, like, without grudges, they are they struggle,
Weaker
right?
than the other tanks.
Right, and that's a problem. Like, you shouldn't have to be in combat to be good at your job as a tank. Like, if you can't survive that first hit because you haven't been in combat, that kind of sucks. I think the mechanic is really cool, right? The longer you're in combat, the stronger you get. So just buff certain abilities, but why can't I survive a hit without hate or grudges?
Well, you can survive a hit. The more there's important abilities that are locked behind having hatred.
Yeah, buffing your
And
group and whatnot.
Well, not even that. Just an AOE attack to pull aggro
Yeah.
off of
Yeah, that-
people. You need to have hatred. You go into your first pool, and you can't grab aggro because
Yeah, no, you can't.
You use your skill to pick up aggro. All of a sudden, an emergency mob comes in. You have no hate to be able to take off aggro, and your group wipes. That's
Also,
that's
you have
tough.
defensive tactics that run contrary to the core mechanic of the game of spending hate, that require you to have as much hate as possible to give you your buffs. Your
Well,
defensive
I
buff.
think that's part of the balance. I think those tactics are okay because it makes you decide, do I want to hold on to this hate and have the additional parry?
I mean,
or
yeah,
block,
it can be
Or
fun.
do I want to spend it? That's a fun aspect of the class, but you start off at a point in each fight, each engagement.
It's always the beginning. If you don't
Right.
have hate, you're less useful and weaker, and that's
starting
a problem.
off at a deficit in a warband fight it's an uphill battle the entire time. If you go into
couldn't the
a
same
fight
thing
hot,
be said
then
for
you're good.
Slayers and Choppas because they have to build up their mechanic as well?
Yeah,
I'm not saying
know,
you're wrong.
I
I'm just saying this sounds very similar to what I've heard about Slayers and Choppas.
From my understanding is they do get stronger, right? As they're fighting, like they get access to stronger hitting abilities, but they don't go into a fight with nothing, right?
Yeah, so that changed recently, at least for like AoE spec Choppa. Basically, like to use your stomp, Furious Stompin', you need to be in red berserk. You need to be seeing red. So basically, like before I do a full bomb, like I need to basically cook my rage up to red, and then I'm basically running WOT rules, which allows me to stay in red the entire fight. The only time I ever don't want to be in red is when I need to detaunt because I'm taking too much damage, which is really like the counter to Choppa, is targeting them and knocking them back and stuff. But yeah, no, like I need a decent amount of time to cook before I can bomb a warband, which is like on engages, you know, that's the trade-off you make. It's like, okay, you know, you have to engage. Really, like, to use your stomp, Furious Stomp, and you need to be in red berserk. You need to be seeing red. So basically, like, before I do a full bomb, like, I need to basically cook my rage up to red, and then I'm basically running WOT rules, which allows me to stay in red the entire fight. The only time I mean, it's a little different for a tank because, like, as a tank, you're the one going in first, right? You're trying to hold aggro. I don't play Blackguard, so I can't comment on Blackguard, but like Choppa does, you know, you want to get to the red zone, and you're going to be a lot weaker until you do. Even on like spending builds, like where you spend your rage, you know, you want to get to the red zone so you can use the spender.
Agreed. And they did something amazing with Bright Wizards and Sorks that I think that they could do with Blackguards and Choppas and Slayers, is they gave Sorks a way to build up that dark magic, that class ability without being in combat.
Yeah, a lot of games that have like rage
really
mechanics usually have a long cooldown ability that gives you like a head start on your rage build or your mechanic build, whatever you want to call it.
What the hell? Builders and spenders are always fun, but if you have a class that builds up, you're always going to start off with less things to press. As the fight goes on, you get stronger. That's just the mechanic of builders and spenders.
So personally, I think the change made to Furious Stomping is good, because you want to be using it when you're in the red zone anyway. Like, if you're not all the way berserk, like, you're going to be hitting like a wet noodle. So like for me personally, like, I don't mind that because they also like decrease the cooldown on it. So like effectively it's more damage the way it is now. You just have to take more risk, which I think is the core of like what a Choppa is and what that class is. I think it's like the spot the Choppa's in is great. It's you know, it's a specialized class where you really build around it.
So other than tanks and Choppas and Slayers, was there another example that you had, Shep? And does anybody else want to weigh in on that? I mean, I'm a tank main. I don't know if there's anybody else that mains tank.
Well, yeah, but my philosophy's always been different. Because the vast majority of the time I've spent playing Swordmaster, I've been in two-hand spec, which, you know, even through those days when that did cause some consternation, and you go into a fort and people would start screaming at you because, you know, you're not sword and shield. But I always found two-hand spec much more fun to play, so that's primarily why I did it.
You should always play what you enjoy the most. That is my philosophy.
Two-hand tanks
100%.
and DPS healers are still looked down upon. It's just a bad habit the community got into.
It'll fix itself.
Hopefully it does. I brought that up earlier. I've definitely been kicked out of warbands in groups because of running a DPS doc. But then I go to another group and here I am, top damage. Top damage is DPS doc.
Something I want to point out, and this is because I used to run with a DPS rune priest by the name of Runmaster when I first started playing. When I ran with him, I would see entire Destro warbands, and I kid you not, and this was when FMJ was in their heyday on the server. This was the guild that Order literally lived in fear of. entire war bands would run from him because he was a DPS rune priest, and he would literally destroy half a war band right by himself just because of his DPS. And I sat there and many times would watch him tear apart Choppas, tanks, Maguses. I mean, he'd eat them up like they were nothing. So I remember, I know what a good DPS rune priest and a good DPS spec healer can do if they really know what they're doing and put their mind to it. So honestly, people need to reevaluate their perception of those classes, because they are viable in warband play. People think they aren't when they actually are. They can be very devastating if they're put to the right use.
I think part of that
I
is
think the witch elf. I'm sorry. I'll let you talk in a second.
Okay,
I just
go.
wanted to say that the witch elf patch. I call it the witch elf patch because that's what I play. The melee patch, which increases the witch elf's ability to be in a warband, really started to change some people's view of the witch elf being in warbands, which is great. I would like to see it for the off meta specs as well.
So giving the two-handed tanks more AoE options?
There's a lot of people that spent very many years playing this game with droughts in between patches, right? So they've come to expect the game to be the way it was when they left. And a lot of players stopped playing the game many years ago and are just recently coming back because of the changes, and they're not realizing that these changes have been beneficial in a lot of ways, and they're still thinking the game is played the way it was when they played before. I don't think that's true for everybody, but there are a lot of returning and new players that are just misinformed, and I think that will change over time. I hope that will change over time.
Yeah, I think you get that anytime you make changes, though, in an MMO. Like, for example, like in WoW, I keep bringing up WoW, but it's kind of like, the MMO that everyone knows. It's like, like warrior players will generally have a flavor of warrior that was like their favorite warrior. Like a lot of them are like, yeah, start of Moth Warrior, so much fun, right? I think that like, when you make changes, people are going to complain, and
Oh yeah, if you make any change, people are going to complain. Even if it's 99% of players enjoy the change, the 1% are going to be the vocal minority. Just like, anytime a change is made, somebody's going to dislike it.
One thing I did want to bring up, I know people were saying that the extra damage on Choppa is dumb, and I disagree with that. I think Choppa, the core of
pay for it.
Yeah, the core of like what Choppa is like, if you can manage to like manage your CC immunities, if your party can keep you alive, then like you're a machine. And I think that like there needs to be, and I think this game does a really good job of that in most cases, but there needs to be a trade-off for like really excelling at one thing, right? If I'm wanting to like delete warbands, if I'm wanting to like do insane AoE damage, like I'm gonna have to take all offensive, tactics. I'm gonna have to, me personally, I run Opportunist 4 instead of FS 4. I think that like Choppa is in a really good place, and I think that it is extremely miserable to play solo if you are doing like a warband build, but I think that's the price you pay for doing the damage. And the way that you counter Choppa is you damage it. You had to force it to use its defensives. And so I think that the changes were extremely good, and I think the Furious Stomping change is actually a buff. But yeah, I think it's really good class design.
I think most people are upset for the Choppa Slayer change. I think that most people are upset simply about the yellow changes.
Who am I? I'm the guy that just got like 100 kills in the city last night. My main's name is Daga.
I think he's trolling you, buddy.
I don't think he is.
Oh. Bummer.
So I had another thing was the keep defense quests, the repeatable keep defense quests that you can take inside the keep. Currently, they only give experience and silver.
I think that's okay. I think the quests in this game are more for people to help people level up. I don't like taking quests. When I hit max rank, I want to be able to not touch another quest for most of the time and just chop things.
Well, my suggestion would be add renown to that quest and add
War crests. War crest. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because
That
it is
would
literally a
incentivize
PvP quest
the
of
keep fights.
you take it. It is a 2-hour. It's got a 2-hour timer, so you have to do it within 2 hours. You grab it from the keep lord, and you have to kill so many people. It is only a PvP quest. I think its reward should be PvP focused. Now, I'm not saying it shouldn't give gold or
like,
XP, but the gold it gives
renown
is laughable.
experience.
Yeah, I think it should give renown.
Gold in this game
and-
is mostly irrelevant unless you're trying to buy an analyst, and
Yeah.
there's really nothing to buy in the game. So
What? Gold is irrelevant? What?
yeah, I mean, there's really
well-
nothing to buy in the game except for
Except for your
potions.
annual
Everything.
ring.
Except for
No,
potions.
I mean,
but
if you play, I play as a white line. Half hour potion, this liniment, it costs 20 gold. So per hour I need 40 gold.
So to be
liniment.
clear, that's actually an order problem. Because the same potion on Destro is less than half.
He's right. He's right.
It's literally
Yeah.
the people who are controlling
Okay.
your auction house. So
liniments
it's your
and potions
crafters that are the issue.
on Destro are... I can buy an entire stack of liniments for like 40 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also still, I would say gold is very relevant. I mean, I had in the beginning of autumn 3,000 gold, and now I have 700, and I was just buying potions. That's it. That's, by the way, the point that I wanted to bring to discussion, that PvP should make some gold, because at the moment you can make gold only through PvE.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Gunbat is one of the best
Uh-oh. I'm in
best
danger.
ways to make gold in the game.
Yes.
And not everybody wants to spend an hour in Gunbad, even if it's with 5 of their best friends. Most people want to be doing scenarios with their 5 best friends, or RVR, or some other content, like PvE
My 5
is...
best friends suck at scenarios, so I don't even get that option.
Oh, he's running.
So, like, I agree with you, Longren, that they need to have some repeatable way or scenarios to make gold. Like, win 10 scenarios and you get like 50 gold or something. I don't even know what it needs to be, but
I always thought the gold
Well,
the gold
look at
rewards
the
here
RVR
were too
bags.
weak.
Look how much
the
gold you get for
RVR bags, it's like 3 gold.
Yeah. For taking an entire zone. I go to the IC, spend, 3 minutes doing that one PQ, get a gold bag, 3 gold, 30 silver.
You can from getting the RVR rewards from the Rally Masters or the Event Masters, you can get, like 70 gold a week, but that means that you are not taking the other rewards that are probably
Way better.
useful for you.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the RVR week 6, you can take 10 gold and 50 gold, so you get 60 gold a week from
I
RVR.
100% agree with Lone. I think that, we were talking about incentivizing like campaign progress versus war camp fight earlier. I think that giving gold for locking zones is maybe something that would help with that. And like, I think gold is absolutely relevant. Like, if you want to get the really good stat potions and use the blue potions, if you want to use a Samagon, which is 25% more renown, and it does not share the slot for your armor or liniment, you know, that one's 35 gold. You know, the consumables in this game can really give you a huge edge. And
The what? The Samagon?
yeah, there's a potion that does not share the slot of a liniment or
The Potion of Acclaim? Or are you saying
no,
something
it-
that stacks with the Potion of Acclaim?
no, it does not take the slot of your liniment or your armor pot, and it gives you 25% more renown gain for 60 minutes.
I did not know about this.
Yeah, and it's 35 gold per potion, so it ain't cheap. But you know, if you're going into an important fort or you know city
Yeah.
siege with your guild, you know that's maybe worth it. I think gold is extremely relevant, and I think that you know if you're doing lakes, you're going to be spending a lot of money. And scenarios.
What was
So
the potion?
It's called a
Samagon?
Samagon.
You have never heard of that before.
But yeah,
Can you
it's
spell that?
yeah, maybe spelling bee.
Sam.
Samogon. I'm gonna go five
Catchphrase.
before you guys take them all.
A single gold is 35, or a single one is 35 gold. Increases morale by 25%. Are those purchased, dropped, or crafted?
Wait, increases morale? I thought he said renown.
It
Morale.
increases morale by
Oh.
25%.
Oh, I'm way less interested now. Okay.
But yeah, I think gold is extremely relevant in PvP, and I 100% agree that if you are just PvPing, you're losing gold if you're using, you know, decent consumables, not even like the crazy good ones.
I think there's a certain amount of balance that needs to go into that also, because you need to have a reason for people to do PvE. Like, I'm not saying it should be so disparate that it's, like, punishing, but,
I would say it should be
like, the
possible
whole thing
without
of you not being able to pick up different, all the crafting stuff is so that trading and an economy happens naturally.
Yeah, no, and I'm not advocating for like, oh, you should be able to buy the most expensive consumables like all the time. I just think like, you know, like Lo said, if you're using like the good stuff, it's gonna be like, you know, if you're using the best stuff, it's gonna be like 40 G an hour. If you're using like pretty good stuff, it's gonna be like, you know, 5
I would agree.
or 10.
In a game that caters to PvPers the most, you should not have to PvE to get gold.
Yeah, that's fair.
PvE should not be the main way to get gold in a PvP-driven game.
But
I
you cannot get
understand
those
they want
crafting
people
pots
to
in
do
PvE.
PvE. They want to incentivize PvE because they spent time and effort creating the PvE side.
Yep.
But you can't make people play the game you want them to play. You have to create the game and open it up for people to play it the way they want to play it. There are people that only PvE, and there are people that only PvP, and there are people that do both, right? It's a spectrum, and you cannot make people do what you want them to do. Otherwise, they're just gonna quit playing. You need to cater to both. Give both sides a way to play the game they want to play the game.
Yeah, well, that'll
Okay,
have
with-
a whole
with
nother
that
can of
said-
worms.
With that said, what do you think about the LV and Bastion Stair Rings, though? Because there are no equivalents for PvP.
I think that those rings are very well designed, but that is, like I said, forcing people to do content that they don't want to do.
And
Sorry.
that's
So
why
I think
both Tosh
that
and Lowen
they
don't
are-
have their Bastion Stair or Lost Veil rings yet.
Right, and they probably won't because they haven't given them a way to get those things. Like, you have to do PvE to get this gear, but those are probably best in slot for
The
some
Bastion-
classes.
Wait, but
The Bastion Stair Ring is best in slot for defense. Sorry, Lone. What were you saying?
Yeah, I wanted to say Bastion Stairs, yes, but LV, it's, I mean, Annulus is not worse, right? Rings, or what?
Analyst
The analyst
is-
rings are a little
Is
better.
better. Analyst
Better,
ring is better
so-
than the LV one, but not the Bastion Stair one for DPS specifically.
Yeah, and so you can get this Analyst ring through PvP event, so it's fine, I would say.
Well,
But if
so,
you want the best ring from Bastion Stair,
yeah, you still have to do PvE. Well, what I was saying is the Analyst ring is an event, whereas the PvE way to do it, you just go in and do it. Otherwise, you have to wait till, I think it's, what, the end of August every year? Or beginning of August every year?
For the live event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like if I want something that's almost as good as the analyst, I can go do LV at any time. It's not going to be as good, but it's pretty close. But that's fine, right? Okay, I'm fine with that.
I always
There is
wondered.
an alternative.
I always wondered.
There is no
did
alternative. Go ahead, sorry.
Did they have to name it Analyst?
Yeah, I call it butt ring.
It has an actual meaning.
I'm sure it does.
I believe
but-
it's something to do with it happening annually.
Okay, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. That's good. That's good. I'll go with that.
Because
So I'm
it's
gonna
something to
I'm
do
gonna
with
read
the actual
I'm gonna read
event.
the dictionary version.
There's like a lore
of-
thing for it. Because it's what
I'm gonna
Twilight's
read the
Tide?
dictionary version of analyst. It is a ring-shaped object.
Oh, okay.
That reminds
Well,
me
I
of
was
something.
waiting for a little bit more to that, but
that,
okay.
that reminds me of something. I can't quite place it, but anyway.
So
well, there is
I got someone who had a good
object
idea
on
in my
your
chat.
butt.
What if you're able to get some select PvE items in open RVR gold bags?
Select, like it would be in certain tiers of RVR gold bags.
Yes.
Like the rings from Bastion Stairs.
Maybe
could
tier 4
appear.
golden bags. There's a chance for it
in-
to show up in a massive bag.
I mean, honestly, that would be a really good incentive for people to build contribution in a fort or in a tier 4 zone and push for flips.
I think we
mean-
can all agree that the bag rewards should absolutely be redone
Yeah,
to
they're trash.
incentivize keeps, forts, cities.
The only thing worth taking from them once you have Sov, I'm honestly, there's really nothing. But
yeah,
I
you
mean,
take more
Vanquishers
crests
is the
so you
highest
can
that it
use
starts,
the
that
cosmetics
it's-
of the other side.
that it goes.
I'm in danger.
I love the 1 gold.
I'm gonna
One gold is
devil's
Too many.
advocate
Too many.
a little bit here.
Oh wait, I'm gonna guard Leo here in SSC. This'll be
So, I think that yes, you should be able to play the game the way that you want.
This
However,
comes with a big butt, doesn't it?
Leave my butt out of this.
yeah, mine too. But I think that, there's a level of min-maxing if you want the absolute best thing. That's okay to ask for, a couple Bastion Stair runs or, BB or whatever. And, okay, I'll give you a great example, right? I hate farming gold. Most people hate farming gold.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend a second farming gold, right? If I want my analyst ring before the event, I have to farm gold, and that will give me an edge. And I hate that. But I also understand that you can't just be given everything in an MMO.
But you don't have to do that. That was my point. You don't have to do that. But if you want a Bastion Stairs ring, you have to do that. If you want an analyst ring, you don't have to farm gold. There are other ways to get it.
Yeah, and I basically what I'm saying is and I'm not saying, oh, people need the PvE. That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is
I am. I'm just kidding.
the point the point I'm making is like doing a dungeon or two to get like a best in slot item. I don't think that's necessarily like terrible for the game, especially something that like promotes. And
I would agree with you, but I would like to say that there are a lot of. I'm going to try to put this delicately. There are a lot of players out there that do not have the patience to either teach other players how to do the dungeons or take the time to learn how to do the dungeons. Some of those fights are not straightforward. They take a little bit of effort and knowledge to do, and some people don't want to take the time to learn those fights or to teach people how to do those fights. So if I'm not in a guild that has knowledgeable players, luckily I am, or I don't have somebody to teach me these kinds of things, and I go in and I fail constantly because one person is refusing to follow the mechanics, that 1 hour Bastion Stairs turns into 5 hours easily, and that's a problem. So I can understand.
It's hard to get that sort of dedication for people to stay and play for 5 hours. A lot of guys, a lot of those older guys just want to get on for like 2 hours and do a dungeon. And if a PvPer finds out that, oh no, I might have to do 4 of these 4 to 5 hour dungeon runs, they're not gonna want to do it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I can understand a PvPer's mindset of not wanting to do PvE when a majority of the runs that they've done in PvE have failed because of a single person's unwillingness to learn. I wouldn't want to do a dungeon with somebody that refuses to learn.
Like Surge.
Right, exactly.
That's just good. I just wanted to put in real quick and just say thank you for inviting me. I gotta hop off. I gotta drop. This is Sheposaurus.
Thanks for
I
coming, Shep.
appreciate all of you on this call. I enjoy watching your streams. I think that the creators for RoR have really helped bring in a lot of new players, especially this past holiday season, December. We had a huge influx of people. It's all thanks to you guys. And I'm excited for the next podcast.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
Shep.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think
Catchphrase.
Also, don't forget to go follow Shep on YouTube.
The YouTubes.
Here, let me
Post it in
Try
the
it.
shared chat.
Oh, Tommy, if you'll give me just a second real quick. Speaking of YouTube, I found that link to the
There we go.
video I was talking about with
there's Sheposaurus' YouTube.
I found that link to the video I was talking about with Tothmonra's VAR SC experiment. And I put the link in my chat, so if one of you would be kind enough to go to my chat, pick up the link, and then post it around, I would appreciate it. And that's it.
I think-
you can put it in the Discord chat if you've got the link for it.
Well, once I get out of this SC, I didn't think of that. I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
But anyway, once I get out of this SC, I'm guarding Leo right now, so my entire life is defined by that.
She doesn't need a guard. It's fine. Let her die.
I think
I'll tell you what, she does really well with the guard though. I've done it. I've seen it. Sorry, go ahead.
Played on order? Alright, where's the G-kick button?
She has a squig herder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have.
Surge plays on order confirmed.
Leaked information.
I think
Hold on,
like
I got a message tally. Hold on.
the other point to that is like, you know, I think it's okay to like require some things in an MMO that you might not necessarily like want to do. If you want like the absolute highest min-maxed, you know, version of yourself. And you know, the other point I'll make on that is like, the PvE in this game, and I've never done LV, nor do I ever plan to because I don't need to do it. But it's like, it's pretty easy in general.
Oh, absolutely. The biggest thing that I've ran into with PvPers, like strictly PvPers, is I don't want to learn these mechanics because they're stupid. Like, that's the mindset that I've had with a lot of PvPers that have gone into dungeons with me. There's just a
They look at it as
negative view.
because it's
Like,
not
this
PvP.
isn't fun. I don't want to learn this mechanic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a personality flaw. I mean, like,
I
look at me.
agree. I'm not saying that it's a prevalent thing, but it does exist.
Yeah, but like, I also can understand, like, for me, for example, like, I need the Bastion Stair Ring, and I have needed the Bastion Stair Ring, and I just don't want to go back in. Like, I just don't want to do it. So, like, I get it, and, like, I've brought up that, like, it's pretty easy, and, like, sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do in MMOs.
Well, what's crazy is it takes less time to learn the mechanic than it does to wipe 5 times.
It does. It's true.
So instead of whining and being like, oh, I don't want to learn this mechanic,
But
the mechanic is
I could
don't stand in
also-
fire.
I could
make it-
also
make it-
not
Oh,
do the mechanic
yes.
and go PvP.
Yeah, and so, like, that's, like, I'm kind of torn on it because, like, I do like the idea of, like, exposing people to something a few times. Maybe they like it, maybe they meet a friend in the group, or just whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm like the idea of, like, exposing people to things, but I don't like the idea of, like, oh, if I want to make money, I have to do gun bad. You know what I mean? Like, over and over and over again. That, I think, is not good at all.
You want a certain amount of friction points, but you don't want so many that it becomes hard to play.
Right.
Because as a lot of people who've played WoW know, when Wrath of the Lich King started introducing a bunch of things to reduce friction points, that's when communities started essentially dissolving because people were no longer interacting.
Right, and that's kind of like my point is, like, a lot of people will say, and the extreme version of this is WildStar, where it was if anyone ever played it, it became way too tedious. But, like, when WoW just started giving people things and making it like, oh, you can just sit in your Draenor garrison, that really erodes the community, and it erodes the experience. And I think that, like, getting people out there and being like, hey, you have to do a Bastion Stair or 2 to get your ring, or whatever it is, right? I don't know what the number is, but, like, I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing in the world, just because, like, the PvE is pretty easy in this game. But
it's absolutely easy, and I don't understand the pushback. I don't get it. It's not hard. Like, there are so many other MMOs out there with actual content in PvE that is way more difficult, and even those are accessible. I don't get the pushback in PvE on this game.
I just want to say real quick.
I think mostly it's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick that in that SC I had high protection value of all order. Guardian Leo. Thank you very much. I'll be in town all week.
Good job.
I think part of it is. I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind.
Sorry.
What I'm saying is that, like, I just, as someone that has not done the PvE that I need to do to get my ring, I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world.
Nobody sneaks up on me, kid. She with you?
This is my stalker. I turned her into an unpaid expendable gopher.
I'm a big fan of child labor. A stampede of chupacabras makes less noise than you.